My name's Jonathan, and I am a frog in Totem. It's kind of a high bar from gymnastics act.
So tell me a little bit about how you got started with Cirque du Soleil.
I did gymnastics for a really, really long time, and then at the end, at my last competition, I met the scouts from Cirque, and kind of got the ball rolling and had to send videos and measurements and all sorts of things, and kind of made it to the training program they have in Montreal, and passed through that and started working in shows.
Had you seen a Cirque production before then?
Yeah, I'd seen ones in Las Vegas.
Pretty spectacular shows.
They were pretty out of this world. The ones I'd seen were huge too. So.
Is that where you began in Vegas?
Yeah, actually, I started at one of the oldest one in Las Vegas now. Yeah, at Mystere.
So what was that experience like compared to the sort of shows that you're doing now in tents around the world?
It was pretty different, mostly because you're in one place all the time. You have a much more normal life and not moving around. But I was doing a super different act. It was an aerial act, so it was like 30-something feet in the air. It was a little bit different.
This is how far in the
We're
air?
much lower. I mean, we're about 3 meters-ish. But yeah, much lower now.
What's been the highlight so far of being part of this particular production? It doesn't even have to be something that you're particularly involved in on a performance level, but just something in the production that you particularly connect with.
I guess there are a few things. It's nice because I've done 2 other shows and they're both old. I mean, they're at least 15 years old each. So coming to this one that's a much newer production, the costumes and everything is just a little bit more fresh. It's really cool. And also, I've gotten to travel around places I didn't get to travel to. I got to tour the U.S. as an American. I didn't get to do that with my other shows. And I get to come here, which has been something I've wanted to do for a while.
And were you just with the New Zealand production as well?
Yeah.
So how did New Zealand treat you?
New Zealand was good for me. Like, at work, it was a super good city, so I was really pleased with how everything went there. And the weather wasn't great all the time, but we got to see some cool stuff.
So how many shows do you do a week?
I think it varies. It goes from like 7 to 10. Kind of depends on what's going on around the city.
So do you get any time to kind of see cities?
Yeah, we do. And I mean, you have to be diligent with what you're doing yourself. You have to wake up early sometimes and actually go out and see things, but it's possible to do it.
Because I imagine pretty much every day is spent in the tent at least at some point.
It sort of depends. Some days you have a lot more free time, but so sometimes you'll have training and shows, but sometimes if you don't have a training and there's just one show, you've got a big chunk of the day where you can actually look around.
So how difficult is it to keep the routine up? Because obviously you're doing the same routine every show.
Yeah.
Do you try to add new things to it along the way?
Yeah, we do. I mean, that's all kind of done slowly in a measured way.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're going to do something new in the show, which does happen, and we keep on kind of adding new things and making little changes here and there, it happens, but it takes a while. So that keeps it fresh. And you're doing it every day, so it's kind of a slow progression up to actually doing it in the show. That helps a lot.
Do you ever see any of the acts here and go, oh, I'd love to be able to do that one day?
I don't know if I'd love to be able to do them, but I think they're really cool. Yeah, a bunch of them. I mean, there's the carpet spinners, there's the guys jumping on the little beams. I don't know if you saw them doing that. But there's a lot of really cool stuff that they do. Most of it's really cool.
It seems like an amazing production. And, do you think when it finishes, will you get to take any of the costumes home?
No, you don't get to do that. I don't know if I would want to. I think that'd be something you would maybe want to hang on your wall, but wouldn't really work for Halloween.
Yes. You just look like a little too professional.
It's
going around in that.
yeah, it'd be like you put a lot of time into that. Maybe too much time.
Getting to kind of do these shows, obviously young kids come to the productions and they get to see, these amazing gymnastics and tricks and athletics in action. Have you had any encounters with kind of children being really inspired by what you do?
Yeah, in the last city we had a whole bus full of kids that came and saw the show, and we had to go talk to them as they were kind of leaving. But they ask all sorts of questions. But yeah, they definitely seem to like it. They can't stop talking about it after the show ends.
What would you recommend to someone who does want to get into the world of Cirque du Soleil?
I would say work hard with what you're doing. Definitely stretch a lot, and I guess try to be a good teammate and good team player, because I mean, when you come to the big shows like this, it's really different when you're doing gymnastics. It's more of an individual thing. But now, I mean, we're swinging on the bar with the dude's hands in between our hands. So you got to be a really good teammate and team player, and you got to listen and have a good relationship with people. So try to work on that.